A selfless act of grace or a desperate move to save face? Tonight, struggling to prove he was fit for office, Joe Biden has sensationally abandoned his re-election bid. The move upending an already dramatic presidential race.
Most people do not want to give up power. He is giving up power.
What a man. What a patriot. What an act of selfless devotion to your country.
Bowing to pressure.
He just has to step down because he can't win.
Quitting the race.
We have just never seen a political story like this.
Joe Biden writing in a letter to the nation, "It is in the best interest of my party and country to stand down." His decision to abandon his re-election campaign coming weeks after that disastrous debate performance.
With the COVID, with dealing with everything we have to do with, look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Unlike previous gaffes, slips and stumbles, this one stuck.
People were so shocked and scared, and people couldn't unsee it.
And in the end, more than 30 Democrats publicly called for him to exit the race.
Even in the interviews since then, which generally were much better than the debate, he would still slip up and confuse the names.
Ladies and gentlemen, President Putin. President Putin. You're going to beat President Putin. President Zelensky.
It's hard to get old, and it's hard to get old in front of the world.
Biden's unprecedented exit, bringing to an abrupt end a political career that spanned half a century.
Yes, I accept your nomination to run and serve with Barack Obama.
That's why today I'm announcing my candidacy for President of the United States.
We did it. We did it, Joe.
Once considered too young to serve.
I expect these fellows are going to eventually judge me on my merit, not on my age.
Now considered too old to run. But today, while Trump declared his former rival the, quote, single worst president in history, Democrats have praised Biden's decision to bow out.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. This was a very difficult decision, and one that I think reflects the very best of who Joe Biden is.
Claiming that by quitting, the 46th US president has saved his legacy.
I think history will reflect the fact that Joe Biden stepped in, staved off a challenge from Donald Trump in 2020, preserved us to democratic norms. He would put that in jeopardy if he were to remain in the race.
Joe Biden's body may not be as strong as it used to be. His heart is as big as ever.
We are live from the lands of the cooler nation, and Donald Betts Jr. is a former Democratic senator who is with us right now. There he is.
Hey, Donald. Hey, how's it going?
Wow.
Good.
Big day for your party. I mean, just a day ago, as recently as a day ago, Joe Biden was defiant. He's definitely going to run. There were reports he was angry about all the white-anting. What happened?
No, to be honest with you, I think it was strategy. After that dismal campaign, debate, he needed to buy some time until after the Republican convention. Had he announced prior to the convention and laid out that he would endorse Kamala Harris, he'd have been throwing Kamala to the wolves. They would have eaten her alive through the Republican National Convention. So now, on the back of the National Convention, on a Sunday in America where this news was released, everyone coming back home from church and having Sunday dinner at their kitchen tables, they can discuss and roll this out. Tomorrow's Monday in America, and you will start seeing the real deal. And within those hours, she was able to raise $50 million. What does that say on a Sunday?
So the timing is an interesting aspect of this. So there's just over 100 days till the election.
107.
100. Oh,
he's across.
He's good. He's good. How do you think Democrats are feeling about this?
I think Democrats are relieved. Finally certainty that we have a candidate that we can stand behind that won't make a mistake and, in essence, embarrass the party. Biden, he held it down. You got to give it to him. Over the last 3 years with AUKUS and indigenous economic development with Australia, things that he's done over the last 3 years have been remarkable in the healthcare space with hearing aids for senior citizens. As small as that, but the next 3 years is what the party's looking for. The next 3 years is what Kamala Harris can can deliver with her vice president nominee, whoever that may be.
So what does the Trump campaign do now? Trump still is going to win the election, you would think. How does he now fight this new candidate?
Well, actually, I don't think Trump is going to win the election. I think the Democratic Party is going to deliver it, simply because Trump wanted to debate Biden because he didn't. Look at it this way: at the Republican National Convention, if he really wanted to beat Biden up, they would have used footage from the debate. They wanted to save that footage. They really wanted to later on beat him up. But now they can't. Kamala Harris is the prosecutor. Trump is back to court, and Kamala's going to deliver. This is an election for women. On the back of Roe v. Wade being stripped away and overturned, women's rights and their reproductive rights are at stake. With Project 25, the women will come out in full force to support Kamala Harris. I can guarantee you that.
It's also about the cost of living, though, in America, isn't it? I mean, real wages are going backwards. Families can't put food on the table. That's got to count for something.
Yeah, I was there, and it was very expensive. Just a couple of weeks ago, it was very expensive, especially when you're using Australian dollars. They call it funny money in America.
Real money, AUD.
But,
we'll take that as a compliment.
It's double the price, when you're using Australian dollars. But yeah, it is very expensive, but it's not as expensive as democracy and freedom. In America, we value those things over anything else. The sky's the limit. We can make it in America, but when you start taking away those freedoms and those rights to make a decision, that's when you're treading on dangerous territory.
It's definitely a different race now, and it's going to be fascinating to watch over the coming months. Donald, thank you very much for coming in.
107 days. 107 days.